Hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of CareerByteCode AI Leadership Podcast, where we are bringing together global technology leaders and entrepreneurs and AI experts to discuss practical insight that will help professionals and business to succeed in the AI era. I'm your host, Manish Kumar, and I'm a global AI leader and enterprise AI architect. Today, I'm delighted to welcome Shishir Sharan. Shishir has over 28 years of experience, which is spanning over enterprise consulting, technology leadership, entrepreneurship, and AI innovation. He has also worked with global organizations like Deloitte, Dell, HCL, Emphasis, and today he leads multiple AI ventures focused on enterprise AI, AI products, AI upskilling, and agentic AI. Welcome to the podcast, Shishir.
Hi, Manish. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me aboard. Yeah.
So we'll get started. So you had an incredible journey, Shishir. So from enterprise consulting with global companies, and now you are building multiple technology and AI businesses. So what basically inspired you to take the entrepreneurial path?
So actually, a lot of times, if I, so a lot of in the current ecosystem, the way it is, right, actually entrepreneurship is more, as students or people that early on take that up, in fact, it's a lot glamorized also, I feel a little over glamorized, but in our times, we used to be a job, this and job here, there, etc. And name tags are important. So the way I got entrepreneurship, I was doing this BPO operations thing, and I was actually not so much into deep tech that time for a few years. It's more telecom
Right,
operations. But this guy from IMCAL, this guy had a niche BPO idea. He said, you want why do hand delivery for us? And you want, I'll give you equity, I'll give you the salary. I said, you
right,
should never do it in Gurgaon. Oh, fine, I'll do it, because I want to stay at home, spend my time with parents. That's how I got into
yes,
entrepreneurship 2007, 2008. And obviously after that, I've not looked back. And I sincerely regret I
okay,
haven't didn't do it earlier. That's part of it.
yeah,
But I guess, yeah. And then obviously, as I said, one after the other, this is my fourth here. And in fact, just one more. I did a very small dabble way back in the US as well, in the .com time, right?
right,
But I kind of put like $10,000, me and one of my roommate, and we put together a website and all that. But we realized that the
wow,
cost of building that, although distribution was not so expensive then, was still a lot more. So we actually said, let's go back to our jobs and we'll worry about it later. But yeah, from then it was like 8 years before I actually tasted entrepreneurship, hands on full time. So yeah, yeah.
wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Good to know about your entire journey, Shishir. And during this journey, what was your biggest lesson? For you have spent nearly 3 decades in the technology. So, what
Mhm.
is your biggest takeaway or the lesson from this journey?
Okay. So I guess so. I think talking tech and AI specific, I think, see, yeah, technology, and therefore markets move like 10x, 20x, probably even faster, now than 20 years ago, right? Cost of
Right.
software is, 20, 50, maybe 100x lower, right?
Yes,
You
and
look
now
at,
with AI,
yeah,
it's moving even faster.
yeah, with quantum tech,
Yeah.
with maybe, with
Yes.
recently with
Yes.
Mars, with, Sir Musk and areas
Correct.
hitting up, right? So you move faster, right?
Yes.
I think ID services model is, kind of almost, disappearing, right?
Hmm.
People are going to more deep tech models as well, right? So anyway, so markets move faster. So the learning part, the learning curve, the learning part, the pivoting part in a startup, etc., or even if you're doing enterprise implementations internally or through a vendor, etc., that you have to
Right.
upskill yourself. Even if you're trying to get a job a first time or your next one, you don't know when the sword will hit your head, right? As a startup founder,
Yes.
as a business executive, as anyone, right? It doesn't have to be a failed metric with your CEO sees a red thing on the chart, right? Could happen,
Right.
just all of a sudden. Take the example of Oracle, right?
With all the
They were
AI
to,
layoffs
yeah,
running around,
yeah,
yes.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that's something. And second, I think, see, so again, I think, so obviously, if you have a technology bent, whether AI comes or something XYZ comes, super quantum tech plus robotic plus super AGI, which is very different. If you understand how to apply technology to, to business use
Right.
cases, right?
Right.
Because there have a lot of startup businesses, they started when they actually discovered a problem which they faced in an organization.
Hmm.
They ended up into a
Hmm.
startup, but there's lots of the stories, right? Slack as examples, there are
Right.
others, right? And
Right.
they solved it, right? Okay, so
Right.
that's one. And I think, so So technology, a lot of people are saying AI will do this, AI will do that, and I'm obviously not that
Mm,
because I'm
mm,
doing businesses. See, it's like
right,
I say that AI is like artillery. It's like it's like guns, right? Guns are there to
right,
protect people as well. They're obviously it's in wrong hands.
yes,
You don't build policy, etc. A lot needs to be done. Protect to make sure safe AI content does not have to be AI tagged, etc. Your EU is already doing that, but you
right,
can't shoot the guns will not exist. Then protection goes there. So don't let's not kind of try to impact the positive parts of it, but make sure that we
right,
limit the other parts. But as it matures, those things will come up. So again say, but again, technology. So technology can be used in disruptive forms. For example, AI can be used to hack Gmail account in like 5 minutes. I
yes,
can tell you I can give you a code which you can hack any Gmail account, right? So you can build, right. So I'm saying, but yeah, plus, so I learned the technology, it'll change again. It'll again changing even within the AI space. It's changing so fast. So you got to upskill, and
yes,
make sure your teams, your people you're working with are have the same philosophies up to yourself. Plus, understanding that things may change 3 months, 6 months later, etc. Right, and those are key imperatives that I learned over a period of time. Besides the cost and the monetization
right.
models, the business model parts, which are imperatives to keep sustaining, build sustainable, defensible business over time. In AI, or in tech in general. Yeah.
So conclude, identifying the problem is the most
Yeah,
biggest lesson.
and a plan. So
Identify
yeah,
the
in
problem.
fact, I'll give you the same example. The same guy who brought me to entrepreneurship, he here's
Yeah,
now a sales tool for financial services. They spent 8 months,
right,
probably an overkill, but 8 months talking to
right,
customers, prospects, despite being part of the big
yes,
four, both of them, to understand what is to be built. When you start building, technology is commoditized, right? You can actually start right
yes,
away, right?
yes,
And they still pivoted. Obviously now they've landed 4 or 5 big customers, so they're pretty cool and
correct.
happy, right? But 12 months, yeah.
Because
So, so
it
it's even
evolves over
customers.
the period of time, right? Yes, yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. See, as I said, because of markets, right? Because for
mm,
example, in the data space, we built a product. 18 months ago, it was
right,
super wonderful. But the base product today, if you look at it, it's ABC of the dictionary. Right now, it's like basics, right? So it's changing so fast. Plus, use cases change, right? So so those that kind of the evolutionary kind of continuous learning and loops internally in the organizational processes, sales, development process. You got to have whether you're corporate executive, whether you're and
yes.
hands-on developer AI, whether you're a startup founder, also that's important.
Because with AI in the picture, the problems are also shifting from
Yeah, and
traditional old
exactly.
problems to the new
New
problems,
problems are coming, data
right?
overload, compute,
Yes,
new problems are coming in. And the way you can solve problems, the thing is that if you use AI effectively, right, and simple things like synchronous
yes,
prompting to excellence can actually, there are new ways of solving problems which could probably traditionally software people, even I think I'm like also like an old school kind of software, right? But traditional
right,
people can solve very innovatively, right? And that's where the disruptiveness and iterative and repeat disruptiveness of the business and therefore scare for some fun as well is kind of a reality in the AI startup world, whether it's India or anywhere else in the world.
right. On the same lines, Shishir. So today, if you see every company, right, they are claiming to be an AI company, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
they are saying that we are an AI company, this and that, and all that. So from your experience, like you have a 3 decades of experience, what separates a real AI
yeah,
business from the one who is simply following the AI trend, right? What separates a real AI
yeah, yeah.
business?
Okay. So if you look at, for example, 24 months back when we started, right? We got into where we started like a little more than 24 months ago. But that time, lots of AI companies they just took the OpenAI API, built a wrapper, the UI, and then 6 months over
Correct.
100 million, 50 million, the film happens, right? Now, obviously, the market has matured much more. In fact, even before, since that wrapper, one wrapper, and nothing is not valid anymore, right? So you have to
Correct.
build deep use case, right? So
Right.
that's a level one. But still, there are things. So, for example, like chat with PDF, right?
Right.
They're just with software. It's a simple application you can actually build with a base 44 or emergent or whatever tools in like half
Mm,
an hour, right? But they're the first
right.
mover, and they still have the loyal customers. So they still have hundreds of thousands of users, right? So I'm not saying it's not
Right.
it's use case they solve when nobody else did, right? So I'm not saying
Right.
it's a good on model. Plus, they had their loyal. What I'm saying is, if you're starting out now, you can't build the wrapper mode, right? You have to kind of build deep, understand, go deep, and as you said, understanding problems, right? Understanding go deep level.
Right.
Don't go try to solve 50 problems in the same area also. Solve two or three, but solve them well, understand them well, solve them well. And then, I think if you're doing a product startup, for example, right, on a particular area, though even if you're
Right.
solving these problems, don't solve it too deep in the first go. because the product journey is going to be defined by the customer,
The
right?
speed matters, right?
Yeah,
The speed
so
matters.
go out, have them test it out, as they will give you
Yes.
some insights. Once their team start using it, there'll be more insights, the more things come up, right? We're talking about Slack, same example,
So you
right?
can
Slack is
evolve
actually
once you
making
can launch the product and evolve it over a period of time as per the customer experience, right?
yeah, yeah. You know about Slack, right?
Yeah.
We were talking Slack.
Yes.
Slack
Yes.
guy, he was a gaming platform, right? When he had
Right.
little money left, he went to investors. He said, this for this money, I can't do the product out in time. And I have
Right.
so much money, but we have internal do for collaboration, which might actually fly. The guy just said, okay,
Right.
fine, it's fine. Go ahead
Right.
if you want to do it. And that's what
Yeah.
Slack is. Slack became a billion dollar company. And that gaming platform
Mm.
never got this. He went on to finish the gaming platform later. That never reached that
Mm.
space, right?
Right.
Health card is another example. They were selling, kind of solutions to doctors, on clinics on a individual one-to-one B2B model. And then they
Yeah.
discovered that organic products, etc., online sales could be a niche. And then obviously once that kind of went became big, then they kind of launched 1mg, and within a year 1mg required by so there's a lot of discovery happened obviously in healthcare for
Right.
me and
Right.
right there. They knew their stuff, right? Here, Howard, McKinsey, everything, right? But so a lot of the discovery is a part of the how much it's like nobody can predict, right? What numbers on paper or the markets TAM, SAMs in the paper. Actually, what happens is is
Once you launch the product, then only you get to know the real
yeah,
picture.
yeah.
Right. Right. So, you have experience in building, companies, multiple ventures from ground up, right? So, what exactly, top three mistakes do you see in the market which founders are making when they are building, AI startups? What are the top three mistakes?
One that I think number one and number two, and I feel strongly about them. Number one is that
Yeah.
today, if you're a startup founder, everybody starts raising financing from day one. Some people in young will say, "Oh, you know what? Great idea, my vision, and all my money." Look. Okay, so that's anyway unreal. But I'm saying, even if you're doing that, right? If it's
Right.
backed by enough research, their own research. Today, if you're a programmer building a product, right? You can actually
Right.
buy a $20 API to LinkedIn. Just to build your
Mm.
own research tool, which tells you every day what's changing in the specific niche space, right? Right?
Right.
You know, it's a no cost, right? Anybody doing
Yes.
entrepreneurship, it is at 60 rupees or 80
Yes.
rupees in the pocket for a month to spend.
Yes.
Build that, review that, right? You have time, right? And and then ongoing, not just have that mindset to have to get ecosystem support. You know, there are lots
Right.
of free communities, there are lots of those resources available. Lots of people
Right.
ping on LinkedIn who will actually say, okay, I'll help out. Maybe they'll not have time, but they'll somehow try to help you out, make connects, right?
Right.
So you don't have to
Yeah.
go the so and doing all that and doing all the help with execution, distribution, especially if you're a young founder, right?
Right.
I mean, you don't have industry experience, kind of a professional connects, etc. But even
Yes.
otherwise, that ongoing research and etc. So don't just go funding hungry, even if money is being distributed left and center, because funding is not the end goal. The end goal is the
Right.
business to succeed, right? And you
Right.
gotta have that mature kind of mindset to kind of whenever you innovate a pivot, right? Right, you
Right.
have to have adequate data backing it for you to take not for you to prove to your customers, the investors only, right? You got your numbers, you
Yes.
have your number graphs to grow in a particular segment because you want to know, right? Right? So
Right.
you want to have that, right? So those things are very key things. Apart from that, I think, I think, I think one thing is that also part of the miss out is that with AI, which is if you're talking about it, you can start with a paycheck, right? Be on a paycheck. Don't worry about maybe maybe part of the paycheck you pay to an intern to maybe just put together code from your code co-pilot, but when you're because then in the industry, obviously you shouldn't be starting building something completely where you're working with, but you have exposure to what kind of
Right.
things happening, right? So the picture try, maybe 5,000, 10,000, even lesser dollar risk, could take. And if it doesn't work, you stay on a job or another one, right? So that's an option that is available. I think in the current what it is, I don't know how it will be in 18 months, but that's something they don't realize. You're
Right.
saying, oh, I jump ship and I'll have the first $10 million check. Somebody will forget about my ambition.
Right.
Let's be real about it, right? Let's not people say no, Indian VC don't do. I don't. They're right. They're money managers. They will make. You have to have that story, right? And they're looking for validation of
Right.
product, etc. But if at the ideal stage, even
So the real
unless you have
validation only comes after you launch it, not
yeah,
in
yeah,
your idea. Right.
exactly. And
So to summarize, like what you said, right, the three pointers. The top three
Yeah.
mistakes, what I understood is basically the first thing is you need to have a deep research, which is ongoing.
Mhm.
Start from the
Yep.
product idea to the launch and then ongoing with the customer experience, right? You need to have a deep
Yeah.
research for your product and market,
Yeah. And
right?
by the way, the ecosystem support. Look for just do search
Yes,
in
you
the
need to
LinkedIn.
connect with
Yeah.
people, tell you
Who's
about your
serious and
ideas,
asking
get
for help, it's
feedback.
okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Right, right,
Yeah.
right. And the third one, which I understood, is basically to have sustainability in your business, right? So
Yeah.
you cannot build something if it's not sustainable. You need to have that
Yeah.
kind of a sustainability with your business.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right,
Absolutely.
right. So basically, on the same lines, right, you have launched multiple AI ventures, right? And you have targeted different markets, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
how do you decide which particular opportunity is worth pursuing, right? Because you will have
But if you ask me
multiple
honestly,
ideas. Yeah,
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 if you ask me honestly, I'm sitting with
right,
15 plus ideas, but the bandwidth, I don't, I'm not launching them. So that's something I find. I was speaking to, kind of investor group also recently, and I
right,
said, I said,
right.
they said technology build shift fail because it's a bit easy to build once you know what to build, and
Build, ship,
as the
fail.
maturity in a particular domain. Let's say if
Right,
I'm saying I'm attacking data for manufacturing, I'll have
right,
5 different ideas which will come maybe some months later, but together, right? And then the
right,
cost of parallel doing it. So I'm saying, is the real mode? Obviously, distribution is more, and commonality distribution are
right,
there, right? Why do you
right.
saying just build one thing? Let's try 5 different things, right? So again, a lot of investors don't like it,
You
but
should be
actually,
comfortable with
yeah,
failures.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
yes,
No, not just
yeah.
failure. See, failures will happen. You might build the best product you
Failures will
see
happen.
is research, right? But what I'm
Right,
saying is that once you identify multiple, I'm not saying you try multiple ventures across the industry. You're trying a tech on manufacturing, plus you're trying maybe a whatever a trading dealership or physical dealership. That's different venture, right? You different, but similar kind of ventures, the same space. Try them product ideas, and try them differently, and try at the same time, parallelly. Not that too many, but that'll give you a higher chance of success even for your stakeholders, right? So
yes,
some people are buying into that, some people don't. But I'm just saying that's what I feel that that's important. So I think to your question, I think so. So it's not so validation. On customer will obviously define the product journey, but not
mm,
necessarily. You're gonna have to those come. The business model pivoting innovation will kind of keep on continuing, but the more it's like if you have multiple things going parallelly, the technology doesn't cost too much, right, to build, right?
right,
Customer
right.
adoption costs, right? But the same customer
Yes,
could buy 3 or 4 of them, you said, right? No, so your revenue numbers also internally, your plan B works better as well, plus other things. That's something I think
mm,
is important. Yeah.
right. So nowadays, like if you see at an enterprise level, right, many organizations are experimenting with AI. Many
Yeah.
organizations, but they most of the organizations they struggle to move beyond pilots,
Yeah.
right? So what
Yep.
are your thoughts? Why does that happen? What are the major, roadblocks which organizations fail from making a demo AI to a actually enterprise AI?
So I think again it's a similar point that because it's not they're not planned. So most in fact that's getting better now. But for example, at least a few months earlier, until a few months earlier,
Right,
and even when I talked to some CTOs in the US, just to kind of catch up and say hi, hello, although we don't pitch
right,
tech to US so much.
right,
They don't know so much on, or they might want. There's probably a gap in between what is required to, they don't know about prioritizing. A lot of FOMO-based spending budget is come, so let's spend, apply AI
right,
everywhere. ROI expected 6 months, those are unreal, right?
right,
So I think
right,
that part is one thing. And secondly, I think I talked about audit, I talked about research, right? So actually, we
right,
are actually toying with a stealth thing. We're trying to automate the, AI application before AI implementation, right? Or even let's say add-on
right,
implementation to your IT landscape or AI.
right.
Automated audit of your IT landscape, automated audit of business use case application of that, which will give you a certain
Okay,
confidence level, right? Which can actually run low cost, right? Agentic AI based, right?
right,
Actually configure those, agents also. And then and second thing, so that's important, right? I mean, if you whether you do it
right,
automated way ours or anybody else's, or you do it your
right.
consultants internally or external hire, McKinsey or Deloitte to do that.
Correct.
But and second thing is once you implement AI, right? If the
Right,
users don't know how to use it, right? So and if your users don't know how to use it for the right use cases, then the whole
right.
purpose is lost. It's a CIO knowing how to be used, and the
So
great thing
those
you
those
have
use
internally or the
cases
big
should
telling
be
about it. Yeah,
identified in the first step itself, right? Before launching
exactly.
even the
And
pilot. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Before
gotta
launching the
have a
pilot.
training and change management plan right up there, and you have to have a budget for that.
Right.
You know,
Right.
it's easier to build the rebuild the technology if it doesn't serve what you intended to serve. But it's very difficult to
Correct.
retrain those guys over and again. For example, an organization
Yes.
having 20 offices globally, right? People
Yeah.
have different culturally having those calls. That's a huge cost. It's a huge opportunity cost. So have that
Yes.
plan ready, timeline ready, and significant timeline
Mm.
has to be there, right? Let's say even if you forget the
Right.
audit, I'm saying, but that second part is very, very important, right?
Correct.
Training and change management, that's very important, right? So
And the initiative should be ROI driven, right? As you mentioned, because the ROI should
yeah,
be the main factor. Even if you're launching a
exactly.
pilot, you should have the ROI defined before even launching the pilot. Like what
So
is
yes,
the
ROI
ROI of that?
defined, Manish, but at the same time, ROI should not say the 4 months I'll get 30% savings, right?
Right.
Anything
Right.
with 30% saving 4 months will not happen. AI is not magic, right? Right?
Yeah.
You gotta,
Right.
for example, even let's
It
say
should
you
be
say go
realistic, you're saying.
yeah,
Yeah.
realistic, and I should, for example, they say AI, AI system, any system, right? It's
Yeah.
as good as the data it gets, right? Understand if your
Yes.
data is mature to, or data is to mature to service the use case. The technology you build
Right.
fine, right? Like we build it, somebody else build it, right? It might be fine, but
Yes.
the data is not good. If it's going to come, the output you're going to get is not going to serve the purpose. So, and even if that is the case, 6 months to a to any positive ROI, unless you're building a simple chatbot to a rich
Right.
chatbot to e-commerce site. Okay, yeah, maybe less than 6 months you get a positive ROI because your customers have improved, your orders they go up. But in enterprise implementation, 6 months ROI, please don't know if that numbers if all numbers are showing it will happen. I think one you should look at that again, right? As a chief AI officer or a
Right.
CIO, whoever the company. Yeah. So expect so yeah,
So how
expectation.
does it, like, let's say we are past that pilot phase, when we are going for a AI maturity over an organization, let's say,
Right.
okay, so how does the AI adoption should work within an enterprise, scale? How can be adopted, correctly? What are your thoughts on
Yeah.
that?
So there are several tools which are available, which actually within the application sometimes which actually which generate short videos, etc., and short training courses. I mean, track if the user has actually taken them, certifications, etc. User, right? You can track
Right.
usage in general through a third-party tools also within the website, right? And you should. So that's it. So part of the plan, but I think measurement of obviously you instruct them. Your emails go, reminders go, whatever.
Tracking and
Training takes place,
measurement, right? Yeah.
upskilling, you start
Tracking and
using tools for
measurement.
your work. Yeah,
Mm.
but measurement of
Yeah.
that, for example, there are some. I'm sure you must have come across as well. People use, for example, whatever,
Yes.
$2 million ChatGPT Pro licenses in the organization, 10% usage, out of which, out of the 10%, 40% usage
even
is basically
even if I
for
if I I saw one post where a few organization members, they were saying that we are being forced to show the usage of the AI product which the enterprise has bought,
yeah. So
you know
as I said,
so that
yeah,
should not be the case.
correct. You know what? We were talking about glamour in the startup world. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
They want to, obviously, it's important. You can't lie to the stock market. So, you're a publicly listed company, you can't lie to your customer, right? So, you have to have a
Yes.
story.
Yes.
So, you have to have the
Yes.
presentation which tells a
Yes.
story. But, okay, so
Yes.
you're, as an entrepreneur, as a, whatever, as a business leader, you can lie to others, but don't lie to yourself. Your internal thing, you have to have it ready. Even if you give the story,
Yes.
make sure within 4 weeks, you
Yes.
have that thing ready, whatever, right?
Yes.
So I guess, but I think those things are. I'm not saying that's happening now as well. Those things are getting better.
Yes.
They're getting more mature. But I think that's still a gap there. But why they are failing and they're saying 40% agentic will also fail. That prediction comes
Yeah.
from that. I just think, and I think especially the Indian ecosystem, right? People are doing some exciting stuff. I think at least
Yeah.
we are India's budget. I think for the just like 4x last years. Yeah,
Right.
I think. I mean, maybe that number is that I'll give you another. The app usages globally. It's I think gone from 3 billion to 20 billion in the last 8 months. India
Right.
actually the AI app usage is higher than the US. Would you believe that? It's true. US was
So
higher
because of the
last
customer
year.
base, right? We have a huge customer base.
Yeah, and
That's
I'm
yeah.
talking about enterprise. I'm talking about free apps and all the stuff, right? Obviously, enterprise is
Right. Right.
spending is maybe one tenth of what US is, but
Even
basically,
the ChatGPT usage, if you see globally,
yeah, it's higher.
the
It's
most
higher than
usage
US.
is from India.
Yeah,
ChatGPT.
exactly.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Another fact, I think in the adoption ecosystem, the
Yeah.
acceleration percentage, month on month, is a huge
Yeah.
higher than US also.
Yes.
Also because US is always, they are the first adopters of any new technology, right? They're creators, adopters, right? So that's also
Right.
reason.
Right. Right.
But still, that was not true. For example, the internet age or the mobile applications age or whatever, right? But these two
Right.
factors are there. So anyway, but yeah, but I guess that's it. You have to kind of you know and I think it'll not be 40%, but I think but still there'll be some percent. So as
No, but
implemental, as startups,
chatbot, if you
everything.
see the chat, the chat model or the
Yeah,
LLM model is no longer there. Now, every like enterprise, if you see, they are moving towards agentic.
yeah, exactly.
So what are your thoughts, like where this agentic AI will move in next few years, where this will go?
So I think that at least they're saying 5, 7 years if you look at all the research. But I think
Right.
I think at least for the next 2 or 3 years, at least
Right.
3 years, the
Right.
market, the adoption, the kind of the opportunity for agentic AI product or services startups is like the market's gonna grow 2x. It could become double every if
Right.
it's 100 million today, whatever X number, it'll be 200 million,
Right.
400 million, whatever. It's not it's billion actually, but you know that, right? But I'm just saying
Right.
it'll double. But people are saying 95% CAGR for the last 5 years, so it'll be. But then again, I mean, Eric Schmidt, right? Ex Google, he said, if you're a young founder,
Right.
either you build, just learn how to build an agent, identify a
Yeah.
use case, and just jump doing it on your own, or
Mm.
you try to join a data center company, right? Or
Mm.
you start to work on, having people adopt AI tools effectively, right? You actually separate
Right.
it, right?
Right.
Another person, I think Kevin O'Leary is a Canadian billionaire. He also said the same thing. Work on
Right.
people adopting AI tools for the right use cases, right? Mark Zuckerberg
Right.
recently said AI assistants, people will have their personal AI assistant. He's a social media guy, so obviously,
Right.
everything's better right. But he's saying, personal AI assistants, right?
Yeah.
Bezos is building AI to 100 billion AI to build autonomous AI to build entire factory on its own, right? Machines and all that, AI
And
design,
there is
building
one
entire
more thing
machine.
which is going, yeah, one more interesting thing which is going is one man company. Have you heard about it?
Yeah,
One man company.
Davi or
Yeah.
whatever is an example.
Yes.
Several in the
Yes.
EU, I know who are doing $5-10 million at least.
Yes.
Revenue is one man. There's an AI, if there's an AI for that, started in Romania, one man. Now there are five, six
Yes.
people still doing 20 million plus dollars, 5 people, right?
Yes.
And there's several in
Yes.
India. So as I said, so in fact, at the age stage, even so, obviously, solo person, obviously, you're going to have a freelancer network also, if you on demand
Right.
people, right? Something comes,
Right.
and you have to have the right workflow for the agentic, in fact, because you have to have agentic thing to kind of perform the task, right? As an AI
Right.
automation, obviously you can do that, right? And then you
Right.
have to kind of make sure the right tweaks to do that. But I think the cost to
Right.
kind of do that is sub $10,000 to launch it, right? Look at the
Yes.
example social media thing that Mark Zuckerberg bought, right? Within
Right.
months bought for the I think for a fortune, right? Right? No,
Right.
right? AI agent social media it was, right? AI agents interacting
Yes.
with the virtual social media. Anyway, but I'm saying, and look at
Mm.
the kind of work, for example, Google DeepMind did on, kind of, and continue to doing on healthcare cure, right? For years they
Yes.
struggled, right? But I'm saying today that kind of stuff, right? That kind of stuff you can actually run it now. They're saying GPUs you'll be able to run on your or not that compute level you'll be run on your laptop, right? For example,
Yes.
we use a lot of open source. We only work with Llama Raw because they only one popular open source. Archie is there, but it's too heavy. Chinese model
Right.
have their own thing. But if you can run it on a laptop, I would like to try doing this, and playing with it, on my own, my laptop, on my thing as well.
Yeah,
That will
laptop
happen.
or mobile also. Even
Or
even they are saying on
yeah,
mobile.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Then they're
Yeah.
saying you'll have people can do using through mobile. You can through app. If I want to rent out my
Yes.
apartment, I won't go to
Yes.
Magicpix or with due respect to housing or
Yeah.
whatever. I'll build my own app, rent my
Yes.
apartment or keep it confidential, and
Yes.
then throw over the app for 6 months because the cost
Yeah.
of building and using software is going down. So anyway, there's a lot of different models coming in,
Good.
right? Like my
Right.
own UI is already happening.
Yes.
I will
Yes.
find my own UI in your app, my mobile
Right.
app. I don't want your UI, right? I want
Right.
this
Right.
button to look like this. I want this flow, etc. That all is there, right? Like sorry, yeah.
So in the same lines, like what do you if you have to give one advice to the professionals who are, looking to build careers in AI, what's that
Mhm.
one advice from you?
So actually, I have advice for maybe all three segments for founders as well as careers, and for one key message for everybody. For founders,
Yeah.
as I said, keep your eyes and ears open. When you're doing an AI business or emerging tech business, think like a trader in a trading marketplace. You have to sell your product to the right place, find the right buyer, and your eyes moving left and right.
Right.
You know,
Right.
Second, and
That
obviously
mindset is
research.
important.
Yeah,
Yes.
right.
Yes.
Don't get complacent over funding. Don't just chase funding,
Mm.
big funding. That's not the
Mm.
only
Mm.
thing to support your business. And second, for enterprise leaders, we talked about, right? You know, it's not just if you're outsourcing to a company X, it's not that your job and the company's vendor contract is online, but I
Right.
think it's your organization's future plus your everything is online. So I think do more homework before implementing. Whatever we are
Right.
doing homework, do more as
Right.
much time doing homework. The extra few days will be much very very valuable.
So
First
spend your
for
time understanding your customers
yeah
first, you're saying.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
for young people, one for tech professionals, I think you know learn, upscale yourself beyond what your job demands today within the AI
Right.
world also. Let's say if it's just tools and basic usage,
Right.
understand maybe more concepts on your business application, whatever, right? Because
Right.
obviously from your growth perspective as well. Plus, obviously, you don't know when the sword might come. Okay, 2 million jobs lost already. India itself is, I think, last quarter is 200,000 plus whatever, right? So I'm saying,
Right.
businesses are businesses, right? They have to
Yes.
be so more profitability to stock markets investors, right? So they're not charitable organizations,
Yes.
they're not NGOs, right? So they will, so that'll happen, right? So be prepared, right? And prepared, and this, and
And
upskill always
same
good. So
same for
you have to
the
just go
tech
in there.
professionals, right? Shishir, if you
Yeah,
want to say what are the top three skills they can build, for
this is a great
starting career
question.
in AI,
Yeah.
if you want to start career in AI, what are the top three
So
skills
I think
according
so. I
to you?
think so. If you're a non-tech professional, if you're tech professional, yeah. If you're not for a non-tech student, for example, you can actually try to use tools, use it in prompting in addition to other things
Yeah.
you're doing, right? Use your BCom or
Right.
etc. That'd be helpful.
Right.
If for tech professionals, these skills, I think so there's a lot of talk about use cloud for this, use ChatGPT for this, etc. All those versions. That part is also
Right.
important. But one skill is
Right.
important is, for example, obviously in a lot of the if you're a tech professional, you might Python is simple, right? Most of the work is in Python, right? But
That's the basic foundation. Yeah.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I think applying technology, whether simple programs, the simple things to your software programs, right? To business applications, right? That's
Right.
very important, right? How will
Right.
you use it, whatever, right? Right. That's one important. And I think uh, third thing is I think I have you have to have the right mindset to choose what you want. For example, I had this guy, he applied for our thing long time back. He said, I
Mm.
said, for some reason, he said, no, okay, fine, whatever. Then later I gave him an offer.
Right.
Okay. And
Right.
then he went to join a top 10 IT company.
Right.
4 weeks he left them, right? He gave call
Okay.
after 4 weeks. He said, can I work for you? I said, what happened? He
Okay.
just told them. I just told them. He said, what the hell? I'm just, every day they ask me to use the same OpenAI API and plug into a new system. There are 50 projects in OpenAI implementation going on. So, I'm not learning anything, right? So, for some people,
Yeah.
it's okay, right? Everybody's okay, right? Somebody
Yeah.
says, I want a
Yeah.
learning curve. 4 weeks I'm doing this. I know what 3 months, next 3 months I'll do what I'll do, right?
Right.
So if this is
Right.
what I did my, computer science engineering from what I don't want this, right? So anyway, something
Yes.
after that we worked out a plan, etc. But anyway, my point is so, but and at the same time, some people. I have another friend who was at Bangalore only. So he
Yeah.
said, it's changing so fast. Obviously he's a senior at tech. He handled engineering for a AI startup, right? For a startup.
Okay.
He said, it changes so fast. If we plan in 2 months, within months, the CEO tells me, hey, you know what? You dump everything you prepared. It's like that garam masala, kadi chawal nahi banane hai, wo banana hai, aise.
Recipe
And then you move.
change.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but now work on this. So I said,
Yeah.
this guy was a senior leadership position with a leading bank in India, right? And
Right.
yeah,
Right.
CTO kind of person. So I said, if that's what you
Right.
want, then move to that, right? So what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
my point is, and obviously money will be good, plus obviously he has stocks, he has significant
Right.
stocks. And I'm
Right.
saying, the point is, you have to identify what you want. If you want deep tech enroll, continuous learning mode, you want challenges, right? When we used to be at Deloitte, right? When I went as an engineer, my first job was at Deloitte Consulting. I went here and they put me in a Merrill Lynch project where I had to talk to customer, put an Excel sheet. What the hell? What is this? There's no C++ in this. This is Java. But
Okay.
even tech projects, we didn't know what even the project manager did not know what we had to put. We just put the enclosure and the computer was just
Right.
clear that we are working. So it was frustrating, right?
Right.
I mean, that's exaggeration. I'm
Mm.
not trying to put any kind of, mob Deloitte work. Or anything. But that's true of a consulting thing. But we didn't know
Mm.
consulting. We were like, yeah,
Yeah.
US का job such as चलता ही है. अब Deloitte मिल गया मस्त चलो निकलते हैं, right? But anyway, I had an offer from IBM Research also.
That time,
Right? I
that
didn't take
time, the
that,
only
right?
thing matters, right, is the package. If you are getting good
Yeah.
package, you join.
But I said Deloitte. I went to Deloitte because 50 other people from the same batch are going to Deloitte. मैंने कहा, चलो यार चलते हैं, यही चलते हैं, लोग जा रहे हैं.
You'll get
What am
good
I saying?
company. Okay. Yeah.
But and I didn't know, right? I didn't know what
Yeah.
research में क्या होगा, consulting में क्या होगा. एक ही बात होगी, चलते हैं, no? Okay. What I'm saying is, but point is, and I'm not saying that anybody today people are more informed actually because there's a lot of internet and so on.
Yes.
Internet आया है ऐसा. But otherwise also, even if you don't know, But my point is, like some, when you say tech professionals, so they have probably spent 1 year. After 1 year, I knew exactly what I wanted, right? I mean, I was spent
Yes.
1.5 hours
Yes.
with Lloyd, but then I went back
Yes.
to the tech kind of a role, right? Because that's gave
Okay.
me satisfaction, right? Okay, but
Yes.
when I'm saying, what do you want, right? People, and there are people who actually, went there and, even without an MBA and actually running being managing directors, handling, a part of the US global,
Right.
operational,
Right.
right? But my point is, but what excites you, you discover, quickly. And then, like this guy probably did it too fast, but maybe he's right. 4 weeks saying, all I'm doing is putting
Yeah.
opening into API together and documenting what API
Yeah.
I built, and the rest
Yeah.
of the time I can go for sutta or chai break and have to, what is this, right? So for somebody else,
Correct.
it'll be fine. Oh, it's fine. I can get back at 5. This
It
is what I
depends
wanted.
on the individual,
Yeah,
what their interest is,
you define what it
basically.
is, right? And it may change
Yeah.
also, but
Yeah.
define them. And there are plenty of opportunities
Yes.
out there. See, today, name tags are not important, right? You're an IIT, you're an IIM, or you're a, etc. Except for, let me, Berkeley, Stanford, just
Right.
but
Right.
it's important. But IIT and IIM is also important. But what's important is what skills you build to, ready to, implement at an organization, right? And that's why these guys are,
Right.
layoffs are happening, right? I mean, a
Yes.
tech company laying off tech people. Most tech companies are laying off people, and they're not upskilling
Yes.
themselves. They can upskill them in 4 weeks,
Yes.
but they don't have that
Yes.
4 weeks to upskill them. They want new people to start next day, right? There's a cost to
Yes.
fire and hire and fire also, right? There's a cost plus cultural
Yes.
fit.
Yes.
Still, most of them don't upskill, right? Why? Right?
Yes.
Yeah, so people want ready skills. So it's about what you have, right? Skills, So
And nowadays,
yeah,
if you see, even for a fresher job, your experience of 1 or 2 years is expected out of the fresher. It's not like previously you can take a fresher and then train them and then you will use them.
that
It's
depends.
not like that.
Actually,
Yeah.
Manish, if I may disagree, for me, I actually take fresh. I have second year students who are working terms with me.
Right.
What I do is I look at their LinkedIn and I look at
Yeah.
their, GitHub repo. I look at their
Yeah.
lean code coding myself, right? And
Right.
and obviously the enthusiasm they have in terms of reaching out and going to work in tech
Right.
because they work.
Right.
But yes, you're right.
Right.
Ready skills may not come at a fresher, but those things are
Yeah.
important, right? For example,
Yes.
companies, everybody looks up GitHub. It's like you can actually in a day you can search 50,000 people repos, on a single computer, right?
Okay.
Every
Okay.
recruiting software, they have it. Not if at least our recruiting software has it. It actually
Right.
searches profiles and repos in a particular area. If I'm hiring for a, let's say,
Right.
tools implementation of a particular enterprise, I can search for
Right.
public repos because I see intent or or kind of thought process gone. I don't want to click that code, the repo code, right? I want to
Yeah.
understand the
Yeah.
thought process, guys
Thought
work, and
process.
reach out, targeted outreach. So when it's targeted, they'll pay you whatever you want, right? When it's generic, they'll not even consider second time of your email, right? So I'm saying that I it's
Yes.
very important. Very skills based and application based is application, not technology application. Application
Right.
the business use case they have because it's becoming
Right.
important, right? And that goes the
Yeah.
same thing for the CFA officers, right? Or the
Right.
the senior right now. If internally, if whether it's wrongly promised ROI or whatever, if it's not
Yes.
showing results, even
Yes.
they become very hire and fire, right? They say,
Yes.
whatever, I'm
Yes.
not 3 months. Either this works this way, or maybe we should use this time
Right.
to look for better opportunities outside. You could
Yes.
try,
Yes.
So that's the fact of the matter.
So
It's not that
yeah.
I'm saying that. Everybody's saying that. Everybody's happening all over the place. Yeah.
Let's move to the next segment, Shishir. This is an interesting one. We
Yeah.
have a rapid fire session.
Okay.
So in this session, you are going to answer only in one word or one
Okay.
sentence, whatever I'm going to
Yeah.
ask.
Sure.
So we'll do it quickly, okay? So let's start with ChatGPT or Claude.
I'll take a little bit more. If simple query, ChatGPT, build your own apps, cloud.
Okay. Startup or enterprise.
Startup.
Okay. Go for AI product or AI services.
I guess products with a deep service model, professional service model.
Right. Right. What you will suggest, build fast or build right?
Build right, but don't build too slow and keep developing on making it really right. But build right is important.
And one skill in AI which everybody should learn.
Um, I think application to business problems. Beyond
Application
just
to
the
business
technology.
problem. Right. Okay. And one business skill which every entrepreneur, should learn.
Sales. Entrepreneur for the first 12 to 18 months, it'll be founder at sales. Nobody
Sales.
else is better than you, right?
Right.
So
Right. You need to be very good at sales, you're saying.
yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
And what is that one habit which has helped you succeed throughout your journey?
I haven't got there yet. I'm become billionaire yet. But yeah, no, but no, I think so. So I honestly I have made it's a longish answer, but I was like, as I said, first few months I didn't like Deloitte's work because like, what is this? But then I like the
Right,
travel, the perks they had. Every weekend I could go wherever was Deloitte's expense, right? Weekend
right,
I would instead of coming back, I would go fly to Europe and have a holiday, all
yeah,
hotel, travel all paid. So it was fun, right? So that part kept
yeah,
me going. And then obviously I got used to it. But then I
right,
shifted to a different thing, to operations in tech,
right,
right? Then I shifted to
right,
say alliances within a tech and tech enabled services. So for me, it was like I kept on changing and exploring because I used to get bored with a particular thing. But I think, I think that probably has given me exposure to a variety of different models, right? Tech
right,
enabled, and obviously I worked in. It also allowed me to work in the US. I worked in the EU also. In fact, I worked in the EU for a small business process management company, and I actually write some code. But my majority of the they used to ask me because they were a Finnish company, right? They used to ask me to
right.
write process guides, English, because hey, English, your English process guide. Technical, so do technical writing a little. So I have to do that. But that also helped me because now that
So
I
having that open
yeah
mindedness is
yeah but
required.
my yeah so I guess exposure to different things always helps out long term as well, right? And has helped me.
Right,
And obviously, as I said, entrepreneurship. Obviously, as I said, being an entrepreneur the first time, thanks to Nitin who actually got me to entrepreneurship, the HR tech thing, has also helped
right,
me kind of stay on top of everything. And as a roller coaster ride, whichever stage you are.
right,
As I said, we have got some private investors, but we're looking at institutional. But no, still, and we have try to parallelly, so but yeah, we try to sell to small businesses. A lot of times we have to, despite the fact that I'm in a small business market for 5 years, I still have to be able to evangelize, tell them. But eventually, things will turn
right,
off. It's a long term game with each customer, with each
yeah,
initiative, right? Obviously, you got to build it right, and you got to pivot it right, you got to move in the right direction.
yes,
But
yes,
yeah,
yes,
in the startup, if you say as a startup, as an entrepreneur, what learning I've got, I think
yeah,
don't don't just try to own everything and do it yourself. Try to build a
yeah,
people a team of people who whether it's in the team or as partners who think like you, you know kind of
right.
synergies will be positive energy.
So associate yourself with like-minded people. You're saying.
Yeah, positive energy is important. Not about the
Yes, yes,
ideas or the things alone, right? Positive energy.
yes,
If
yes,
sometimes
yes,
you talk to somebody, you upset, you still go to sleep at 10:30. Otherwise, you spend
yeah,
till 3 and you're doing exciting things. Oh yeah, yeah, But
yes,
I'm not
yes.
saying don't catch up with sleep, but I'm saying positive energy is important, right? Energy
Right,
can.
right, right.
One of my batchmates, Rajul Garg, he's a
Yeah.
$2 billion guy now. He runs Leo
Okay.
Capital, right? I think I was
Okay.
watching the interview some time back, saying, he said the most biggest thing I realized was, the energy match between the founders, you know,
Yes.
they decide the skill
It's all
match.
an energy game. It's all
Yeah,
an energy game. Yes. Yes. So as we conclude towards the end of this session, what is the one message you would want the audience to what is the one message you want to give to the audience? The final
yeah.
conclusion.
One message. What segment? I AI
So
tech entrepreneurship.
on 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 AI, basically like how they should be aware more in terms of catching up with the AI. What is the one message for that?
Yeah, so I think, I think one key message, and before you put the deep AI stuff which you actually generate from ChatGPT on your LinkedIn profiles,
Yeah.
know some more about it, right? Whether it's customers, whether it's hiring managers, they can delve deeper, further deeper, into what you're doing. As a
Right.
startup founder, if you have using AI,
Right.
don't put stuff on your website. It's very easy to understand from the website. You can actually search here and there for free for a few minutes, find
Right.
out how they much line. If you're
Yeah.
kind of pitch to investor, don't everybody oversells, right? But don't
Right.
oversell 50x, 100x of what your users are, your payments
Mm.
are, right? No, right?
Right.
I mean, that companies would put a website. I have 500 customers using it. Their product is not even has it says I tried this. It was yesterday, right?
Right.
They didn't have they beat a product. I was trying to upload JD. I said remove special characters. I generated special character removal, remove JD from ChatGPT from cloud. That thing is not working. If your form is not working, how do you have 500 corporate customers things, right? So
Right.
that'll get found out, right? That's important. And as I said, that message still goes in. Maybe I'm making it the third, fourth time. Keep your eyes and ears open. Whether you're on a
Right.
job, whether you're studying, whether you're doing, you know, whether whatever you right, emerging tech, not just running AI, quantum tech, whatever, right? Keep
Right.
keep finding out, keep researching, and keep upskilling yourself. with whatever time you have in hand.
Right.
So important.
So it was, yeah, wonderful advice, Shishir. Thank you so much for joining in and sharing your journey and practical insights on, building AI businesses and enterprise AI. And thank you
Yeah.
everyone for watching this. And if you have enjoyed this conversation, don't forget to like and subscribe and share this episode with your friends and colleagues. We'll be back soon with another inspiring conversation on Career Byte Code AI Leadership Podcast. Until next time, keep learning, keep building, and keep leading with AI.